Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to the NoDQ.com live recap of Friday Night Smackdown for Friday, February the 11th, 2022. We have the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view coming up in just about a week, 1 week from Saturday. Interesting show for sure this week, so without further ado, let's get to the recap. Shout out to everybody watching this, whether it's live or on demand. I appreciate your viewership and support. This week on SmackDown, Michael Cole and Corey Graves doing commentary. I guess Pat McAfee is in Los Angeles for the Super Bowl this week. Sonia Deville was in the ring. She had her arm in a sling due to the attack from Ronda Rousey on last week's SmackDown. Sonya cut a promo. She said that there will be consequences for what happened to her. And she proposed to upper management that there be a $100,000 fine and an indefinite suspension for Ronda Rousey. However, Adam Pearce came out and said that he received an email from the chairman himself, Vince McMahon. Vince apparently felt that Sonia Deville has been abusing her power, and he hates when people abuse their power. And because of that, her petition to have Ronda fined and suspended was declined. And furthermore, it was said that Sonia Deville cannot lay a hand on Naomi at any point during SmackDown, including the main event match, Naomi challenging Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And if she disobeys, Sonia's job will be in serious jeopardy. Naomi then arrived, got in the ring, and said Vince said nothing about Naomi putting her hands on Sonia Deville, and Naomi slapped the taste right out of Sonia's mouth. Segment was very good, short but sweet. It did not drag on too long, set up the main event quite nicely. I liked it. And then we had our first match of the evening, which was the New Day versus Los Lotharios, the Lethal Lovers, in a rematch from last week, because we always have to have the rematches. And the Lotharios, the Lethal Lovers, they said that it would not be a repeat of last week. They had a kiss cam, not the Kali kiss cam, but the Lethal Lovers kiss cam. And they had a plant at ringside. The two of them gave this woman a kiss. And then we had our match, which was a fairly straightforward tag team match. Kofi Kingston did a big dive to both of them early, but then the Lotharios got the upper hand, and they worked over Big E for a while. Kofi got a hot tag. Kofi and Big E did their Doomsday double foot stomp. Kofi comes off with a double foot stomp. However, Angel Garza broke up the pin. Humberto went for a moonsault to Kofi. He hit it, but there was a kick out. And then Kofi recovered, hit the tip, sent Humberto, who was not the legal man, to the outside. And then Angel Garza countered Kofi's pin attempt and scored the 1-2-3 victory. Basically, 50-50 booking here in this tag team feud. Whatever. Los Lotharios win, and they got a new segment, so I guess they're getting a renewed push after losing last week to the New Day. And we'll probably see this match several more times over the next couple months. Backstage, the Viking Raiders, who will be challenging the Usos for the tag team titles at Elimination Chamber, they were ambushed backstage by the Usos, and the Usos stole their headgear. And who knows what they're going to do with the ring gear of the Viking Raiders. We had Roman Reigns doing a sit-down interview with Michael Cole. And Michael Cole asked a bunch of questions, and Michael Cole brought up how Goldberg beat Hulk Hogan in the Georgia Dome and had this winning streak, 173-0 in WCW. Reigns responded by saying that if he was in WCW, WCW would still be in business. I'm not sure, Roman. Don't underestimate the booking of Vince Russo and Eric Bischoff, for that matter, and Kevin Nash and all those guys. Anyways, footage was shown of Goldberg beating Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series in 2016. Reigns basically said Lesnar is old news, and when asked if there's any extra added pressure to beat Goldberg after they were supposed to face 2 years ago, Reigns said not at all. 2 years ago, Goldberg might have had a chance, but Roman Reigns said the world is different, he's different, and at Elimination Chamber, he is going to Goldberg. Does that mean we're going to get a 90-second squash? Reigns defeats Goldberg? I hope so, but who knows? Anyways, we had Natalya versus Aaliyah, match number 537. This match was pinfall or submission only. And Natalya dominated early, and Aaliyah made a comeback, but then Natalya got the sharpshooter on. Aaliyah got to the rope. However, there's no rope break in this match because it's pinfall and submission only, and there's no DQs, no countouts, and Aaliyah had no choice but to tap out, and that was the end of the match. And afterwards, Natalya attacked her. Xia Li ran down to make the save, and that was that. Natalya beats her. Not much to say about it. I hope the feud is over. I'm kind of ready to move on here, but wouldn't shock me if it continues past this night. There was a really cool Rocky Johnson video package with narration from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I highly recommend checking out the video if you haven't seen it. Rock posted it on his Twitter, and I'm sure it's on WWE's YouTube channel. Really, really classy video for Rocky Johnson. And then we had another edition of In Zayn with Sami Zayn. Apparently, earlier in the day, Johnny Knoxville went to the WWE pop-up merchandise shop in Los Angeles and started vandalizing Sami Zayn's merchandise. And Sami Zayn brought out his guest, or actually was interrupted by his guests, Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs. By the way, Corey Graves was not impressed with Boogs. He's not a big fan, unlike Pat McAfee. So anyways, Sami Zayn talked about how he's been the number one contender for 6 weeks. Shinsuke Nakamura has been ducking him, thinks Shinsuke is in cahoots with Knoxville, called Rick Boogs a shaved gorilla with a guitar. And that's when Boogs tried to say something, but I guess the mic was set up to electrocute people, because Boogs grabbed the mic and he got zapped and he fell to the ground. And as Nakamura was checking to see if his friend was still alive, Sami Zayn came in with a haluva kick out of nowhere, a sneak attack by Sami Zayn. And their match is next week on SmackDown. By the way, they're taping SmackDown for next week as I'm doing this video, because next week's SmackDown is one night before Elimination Chamber in Saudi Arabia, and well, they really can't do a live show and then travel to Saudi Arabia. There's just no time to do that. So they're taping SmackDown for next week, and spoilers should be up on NoDQ.com, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Walter Cruz sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you, Walter. Says, WWE has a locker room full of talent that never get TV time, yet every week we get all these rematches. Enough of it. Cut the shit. Yeah, man, I'm with you, but that's how they do things. They like to push a certain group of people at a time, and if you're in the plans, you get the TV time, and you feud with the person. You have multiple matches with the person. Every now and then, you might have a variation, like a tag match. But yeah, that's how they do things, and it works for them, I suppose. So they do it, and they're going to keep doing it most likely, despite how much we complain about it. Moving on here, we had, and it's speaking of people complaining about things, we had Happy Corbin versus Cesaro, and Cesaro got no entrance. Before the match, Madcap Moss decided to stay backstage. He told Corbin he was not going to go out there and risk getting another Claymore. He had a black eye. Match with Corbin and Cesaro, pretty much what you would expect. Corbin hit the deep six. Cesaro kicked out of that. Cesaro did get in some offense, hit the springboard uppercut, but Corbin kicked out of that. Corbin countered the neutralizer, hit the end of days, and picked up the 1-2-3 victory. Can't say I'm surprised. Poor Cesaro. Not even getting an entrance and just losing to a guy who has maybe the worst gimmick in wrestling right now. After the match was over, we went to the backstage area. Madcap Moss was talking with a doctor trying to get his match with Drew McIntyre canceled. However, Drew McIntyre showed up with his sword, and he knew he was faking it, and McIntyre said that they are going to have a false count anywhere, anything goes match. And McIntyre teased, because it's anything goes, he might just use his sword. Yeah, he might stab. I want to see that now. I mean, they keep teasing it. I want to see Drew McIntyre stab somebody with his sword and have somebody sell being stabbed, but I'm not sure how you do that without any blood. They got to do it, though. They've been teasing it for so long. I got to see a stabbing. We had Bill Goldberg doing a sit-down with Michael Cole, just like Roman Reigns did, and they're doing the in-ring face-off for next week's show, which, again, as I said earlier, they're taping that as I'm doing this live stream right now in New Orleans. Cole asked if Goldberg is doing one comeback too many, and Goldberg said that for a while he felt that way because people were saying that, and he said ultimately he does not give a damn what anybody thinks. He said Roman Reigns is going to get what's coming to him, and he said that Reigns will acknowledge him, Bill Goldberg, as the champion, and said that as far as Roman Reigns saying he's going to Goldberg said good luck with that because there's only one, Bill Goldberg. There you go. Not much to say about it. It was Goldberg just doing a promo, and I mean, wasn't the worst thing I ever heard, but certainly didn't make me feel like, oh man, I really got to see Goldberg versus Roman Reigns. And then we had our main event. Seems like we got through SmackDown very quickly here, but this match started with about a half hour of SmackDown to go. Charlotte defending her SmackDown Women's title against Naomi. They got a lot of time for this, and it was a great match. It was maybe the best match in Naomi's career. I mean, it has to be up there. And one of Charlotte's best matches for that matter. Really, really strong match here from the ladies. And the crowd was red hot for this. They were really into it. And you could tell a lot of young fans in particular were really, really getting invested in this one. So great job by the ladies in this back and forth match between them. Naomi hit a really good looking blockbuster off the top, but Charlotte kicked out of that. And then Charlotte got the upper hand when she sent Naomi into the ring steps on the outside. Charlotte hit Naomi with a power bomb when they got back in the ring, but Naomi kicked out of that. And then Charlotte went for the moonsault. Naomi got her knees up, and then she hit the rear view. However, Charlotte was able to kick out of that. Crowd was going crazy at this point. Naomi kept trying to put Charlotte away with move after move, split-legged moonsault, but Charlotte just kept kicking out. And then Charlotte countered the rear view, hit the natural selection, and picked up the 1-2-3 victory. Clean. No shenanigans, no Sonia Deville. They had a nice long match, and yeah, it was great. Afterwards, Sonia Deville got into the ring, and there was a 2-on-1 attack, but then Ronda Rousey ran down to make the save, and that was the end of SmackDown. Main event really delivered. Main event was awesome. And they did the segment at the beginning of the show to set it up. That was well done. And yeah, that really carried SmackDown this week. Mo Cameron with a $2.79 super chat says, who has benefited from feuding with Roman Reigns? Jey Uso. Definitely Jey Uso benefited from that feud. And as far as others go, well, people got paydays from feuding with Roman Reigns. Kevin Owens did. But I get what you're saying, and we'll see what happens. If Roman Reigns loses the title to somebody who's on the rise, like a Braun Breaker or somebody like that, then that will be a big deal. But if Roman drops the title to Brock Lesnar or Goldberg, then yeah, Mo Cameron, you will have a very, very valid point there about Roman Reigns and the title run not really helping anybody. But overall, I would recommend the show. In particular, I would recommend the main event. The opening segment sets that up, so you could check that out too. Main event was great, and it really carried the show. The rest of it is probably skippable. Letter grade wise, B- maybe. The main event really brought it up. Otherwise, it was a pretty run-of-the-mill SmackDown, but the main event could have been on a pay-per-view for sure. Definitely watch the main event. Mo Cameron with a $2.79 super chat says, don't sleep on Austin Theory. Not a fan of Braun. Well, Austin Theory is kind of doing a heel character right now, and Braun Breaker seems like he could be like a babyface champion fighting off monster heels. We'll see with Austin Theory, though. Maybe he'll develop into something. Who knows? It's definitely a possibility. A guy definitely has talent and some potential, but I think the jury might still be out on him. We'll have to see. The whole selfie deal, I need to see more from him. But again, you could say that about a lot of guys, even Braun Breaker, that they still got a ways to go before you can consider them to be the next guy to build the company around. That was SmackDown, everybody. Thank you all so much for tuning in tonight. I appreciate your viewership and support. And if you did enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up, spread the word, tell a friend about the channel. Enjoy your weekend. For you football fans, you got the Super Bowl. I hope you guys enjoy that. And I will be back next week. We got a lot of content coming up with Monday Night Raw. We got the No DQ review. We got predictions for Elimination Chamber. And then, of course, a week from Saturday, Elimination Chamber, premium live event. I will be doing the live results coverage of that. All that good stuff coming up in the next week. Stay tuned, everybody. Have a great weekend. And remember, say yes to No DQ. See you guys next time.